All right, we'll work with this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tub Takes. We are live with our weekly video podcast, and this time we have one special guest and then one more regular guest. So first and foremost, I am joined by our Utrecht special event champion, Nikhil. Reddy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
It is great to have you on. First off, I need you to clarify one thing. It's very important. How do you pronounce the regional that you won? We were arguing this all stream last week.
I'm not sure either. I think it's just Utrecht. Utrecht. I think Utrecht is the one.
Well, it's one of the two. I think it's
Yeah.
two.
I think in the train they were saying Utrecht, so it's probably that.
All right, now we know. And then, of course, we also have my lovely co-host, Alex. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. A little bit late to the show, but we're going to make it work.
You know, we're only like 22 hours late, 21 hours late, really. So, like, yeah, just a little late.
You're right, you're right.
No, we had to do it at a kind of EU-friendly time, so I hope all of our EU viewers are excited to potentially have a chance to watch this. And if not, as per usual, you can always check out the stream on YouTube tomorrow, this time, I guess on Wednesday, over on my YouTube channel, which you do !YT in chat. But yeah, let's talk about the happenings of the last week in VGC. And I guess there's two big tournaments that happened. The first, of course, was the Utrecht special event, the first major we've had in a little while. But also there was the global challenge that happened. And then also, I think this isn't in the doc, but Alex, if you could pull this up, I think that Indies registration was just announced, or was that already announced?
Ooh, I'll go look for it. I don't remember people saying anything. Maybe there was something.
Maybe that was already announced, but it's coming up. It might be that one. But we'll get you the info on that too. But yeah, just want to stay on top of the sign up process, because those can always go pretty quickly, as we saw with EUIC that we talked about last weekend. But yeah, let's talk about the global challenge real quick. This is, of course, the not only a way for us to earn championship points, but also a way for players in Japan and Korea to earn their qualification to their national championships. And just like the last time, our good friend Zach had taken the time to figure out the cutoffs for all the championship point bars for us. So if you did participate in the global challenge, you can kind of see approximately how many championship points you might earn. I think these are already out on the Play Pokemon Nintendo page, but they changed it last time, so I guess it's subject to change for people who played in two carts and stuff like that. I don't know. This is a pretty good approximation.
Yeah.
Can you hear Audie?
Oh,
okay.
no.
So I didn't know if it was just my end.
Can chat hear me? Is okay.
I'm assuming that you're probably fine. It's probably just your Discord is lagging.
Is my Discord okay? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, because I think that worked last time.
Yeah, I guess you can kill the stream. That's one thing to do.
Don't worry, you can still watch chat. Okay, Kunal says he can hear everyone, so I think that it is. I don't know what it is, but it's weird that both of you guys are happening, so it must be on my end. Discord sounds insanely scuffed, so they sound scuffed. It's their fault.
Here, I'm going to go ahead and link this. Not that it's terrible, but I'll mention now, because we have the but Indianapolis registration will be going up tomorrow, as of the time of the recording now. Like it's going up March 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I don't know exactly when Audie uploads the YouTube video, but
before 7 p.m. Eastern.
But it should be. If you're listening to this on YouTube, then it's like tonight. You know, like close this video and go sign up for Indianapolis. But anyways,
yeah, as you mentioned, just I don't know if everyone heard this, because apparently we've had audio issues, but March 6th, so tomorrow for stream, today if you're watching on YouTube, at 7 p.m. Eastern, the Indianapolis regionals will have 816 slots open up. I heard rumors that it was going to be bigger than that, but, you know, and especially since I think, is 800 still a cutoff it's a cutoff for 6 rounds of day 2, right? So it would be nice to have a little higher bar than this and guarantee ourselves that even with no shows, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Let me see. What did you say the bar was at?
816 is 860 spots.
But for all division? No,
No.
it's 860 Masters. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know what number Indianapolis was putting up in the past couple of years, but man, imagine the tournament getting that big.
Well, I mean, I remember the 2022 Indianapolis was the biggest regional of the year that year, but they were all capped very small. That was like 200 people. But Indy is a very central location. It's a honestly people like to shit on Indianapolis. I think it's a cool city. It's a pretty reasonable city. It's not crazy
The
to visit.
audio one.
Okay, so back to top takes. We're live back on a different platform. I hope this wasn't too jarring for y'all on YouTube to see the shift. But Alex and Nikhil could not hear me, even though everyone could hear everyone in Twitch. I don't know. It was a weird problem. But yeah, so we had the Global Challenge 2 points cutoffs. I don't know exactly where we were at, where we're gonna have to cut the initial first 20-25 minutes or so. But yeah, so if you played in the Global Challenge, you played at least 3 games, and you get at least a 1560 rating, it looks like you're going to get points. These scores are a lot lower than what they were in the last Global Challenge. It's kind of crazy that the cutoff for 40 points was the same as the cutoff for 30 points last time, pretty much, and some of the other similar numbers there. And obviously, we had the long stream for the Global Challenge, which is super cool. We had 33 straight hours with like 5 or 6 people streaming back to back to back. We might do that again for Global Challenge 3. Look out for that. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing it, even though I kind of tanked towards the ending. But yeah, Alex, how was your? I didn't get to really watch much of your run. How was your run?
Oh, it was awesome. My team was fun. It was a good time. I think the whole project went off really smoothly and great. I really appreciate all the guys that helped stream their runs and participated because everyone knew what they were doing. We had no real major hiccups after we scheduled everything, and so things went pretty smooth. It was nice. My team was fun, and yeah, I'd definitely be down to do it again after learning that. Despite, I feel like a number of people we were all guilty of this, saying like, yeah, it's the same weekend as Vancouver. I swear, so many tubbers were telling me the next GC was the same weekend as Vancouver. It's actually the weekend after, and so I can go win Vancouver or however, and then stream the weekend after with the Global Challenge. Can do both. That'll be fun. Definitely another good opportunity to do something fun like a extended stream. I was saying that because my time math was so bad. I was like, I checked my run and I was like, yeah, 8 minutes average. That's how long a game takes, including, the whole stream length. If I ever took a bathroom break or if I ever took a little bit longer to queue up the next match, it was, it took me about 8 minutes, average for a game. Then I was watching Soab's run. And his team was like the slowest possible thing. And he takes his time thinking with his moves. And he, his average was 14 minutes per game, which was that's only 6 more minutes, but that's 6 more minutes per game. It's a ton. It's almost double, which was really funny. And basically what I'm trying to say is that I think next time we could possibly do 48 hours, given how long it actually takes to finish a Global Challenge run.
As long as Sohaib is participating, we could easily do 48 hours.
If we get Sohaib on there, we're streaming from start to finish, the whole GC.
It's just his run. It actually takes 72 hours to finish.
Everyone's loving the instant Pichu Amoongus, and we'll get there.
I had a similar experience where I was timing. I did the first 3 hours and I timed it or 2.5 hours something, and just to get an idea of how many games I'd be able to get in the last day. But I didn't account for the fact that I had 2 DCs, one on my end, one on my opponent's end, and so that really ramps up the game count. And there's a huge problem throughout the Global Challenge. People were complaining about it. There were a lot of software just bugging out and falling apart, and so that was very frustrating in general. But it certainly messed with my timings at the very least. So I didn't get to play all my games. Which is a little unfortunate. But I did kind of opt into that as the last person going. But yeah, it was really interesting to see how you were making fun of me for saying I was going to take 8 hours because I took 8 hours last time, and I think I probably would have taken 8 hours about this time as well if I finished.
I was so off.
I think that's a pretty average amount of time, and then you're on one end using Reggie Alaki with the choice band, and so I was on the
No,
other
this
end
was
using...
not based on that team actually. That team, honestly, I think might have been shorter than the one I estimated. This was actually just the Gouging Fire Okie Dokie team.
Okay.
It didn't feel like hyper offense or anything. I had some relatively evenly paced games. I don't know, but it just played so much faster than everybody else. Maybe I'm just a clicker. Maybe that's the lesson. I don't know.
That's probably it. Tio, did you have a chance to play in the global challenge?
No, I was way too burnt out after each day.
You would
I just
think,
went home and slept. Yeah.
You would think
Can't-
that people would be like the people that were going wouldn't be taking it as seriously, but Eric Rios and Michael Derbesti put up some very solid, strong finishes in the global challenge despite attending. I was like, how are these guys outperforming me while also attending a regional in the same weekend? This is insane.
Yeah.
Torviv sniped
it's
me
crazy.
in the Torviv got top 16, I think, and he sniped me in the second to last game of the global challenge and beat me. And he was like 1600 too. He was like not getting points, or he's getting very few points. And then he kicked my butt. So I learned my lesson. If it's global challenge after a regional, play while the regional is happening. You don't want good players who have low ratings because they haven't played enough games yet. You don't want to queue into those guys. But yeah, so
they've already released the like results of it and everything that you can see by Zach's like estimates here. Not estimates. I guess they're just like correct. I don't know. So wait, did somebody win with 1789? Was that actually the winning score for whichever of the Hoj brothers ended up winning?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is honestly a crazy feat. The two brothers getting first and second brings me back to Nails and Rajan getting first and second in the global challenge in like 2017. I think they got actual like first and second, whereas these two were third and fourth after two Japanese players that were going to be removed from the ratings. And yeah, so if you played in the global challenge and you're like, oh, I need some points to work towards a Worlds invite, the results are out. You can go check your Play Pokemon page and look there to see how much points you earned. If you can't see it, I was told to just click on the like your point total, and then it'll take you to the event page where you can actually see what you ended up earning. I got a solid like 20 points. I don't know, Adi, if you ended up earning any points or checked.
I got 20 as well. I was in a position to have 40 with like 4 games left, and then I kind of tanked towards the ending. But the bars were so much lower that I was looking at my like 1708 rating, and I was like, I'm doing super well. I was at 1708 with like 20 games in, 25 games in. Every time I crossed that mark, I would lose one, lose two, climb back up, lose one. But I really thought that I could climb to 1730, 1740, and I was looking at that 1746 bar for 50 points and that was my goal. So a little disappointing, but it started out really well. And then there were always some fun moments in the global challenge. So I always enjoy watching people stream that. You can see the game that broke my heart with 45 minutes left, where I made a really bad play, turn one, fell behind, played out of my mind to pull it back, and then got Icicle Crash flinch in the last turn of the game to lose, as one does.
Dude, I've been saying this. I think Icicle Crash is the second most swingy move after Bleak Windstorm. You know, and I went on a rant a while ago saying like Bleak Windstorm was the new Dark Void. That was when Tornadus was being used a lot more. I don't think Icicle Crash is being used that often right now, but it's just like you could lose on a very critical miss. It can just flinch and steal a game. It is the craziest like move that in that sense, because of how like reasonable both of those scenarios are for warping an entire game around it.
Even seeing in his like Worlds finals in the interview, he was like, "I'm gonna pray for Icicle Crash."
Yeah,
that was like his thing.
Icicle Crash is a little bit. It's like strong, but then I hate using it because of that. It's not like a 90 or a 95. It's 85, right?
No, it's 90.
I think it's 90. Yeah.
Oh, it's 90. Okay, 90 is still a little bit more respectable. Yeah, that's okay. That's not as bad as I thought, but it's still just such a RNG focused move. Basically, I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is unavoidable, you know. There are ways that you can put RNG in your favor. You can click Blizzard every turn, and that way, you know, things will just work out.
Mm-hmm.
This is also the first global challenge with one car only, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think they even like retroactively removed people with 2 in the past one. Like not like retroactively, but like maybe DQ'd people that like had 1. I don't know, 2. I don't know. There was words going around about that, but regardless, the important thing is it was one cart only. Also, this is the second global challenge, which means that 150 Japanese players don't have anything to play for. Some might have just played anyways. Some might have played and not tried as hard, But regardless, we kind of saw that with the point totals just shrinking drastically. It's actually so interesting to look at. Like when you go like line for line, just compare like I don't know, Global Challenge 1 from last year to this year, like 1853 won that one, and the most recent one was won by 1789. Like that is so insanely different. That's like a good number of games. Also, John Hu was part of our marathon stream and qualified for the next stage of Japan NAT. So congrats to him. That's so exciting. He locked in at like 1750. He streamed the whole end of his run and went on a tear. It was awesome. His team is so hype. I actually think I'm planning on streaming with it tomorrow as a side note. But John finished at like 1750 and his record was like 25 and 11. And yeah, I guess he should be in here, huh? Because unless they just haven't gotten him yet. There he is. Let's go. Yeah, he finished at like 1752 with a record of, I want to say 25 and 11. Maybe somebody in the chat that was watching it can help me out here, but I think it was like 25 and 11. And he saw some people that were like 30 plus, like 30 wins and 12 losses that finished lower than him. Like it was a testament to queuing late, because John did play most of his games on day 3, which is always helpful. And 2, I think John just got insane pairing luck. Like he just was always playing high-rated players and either not losing very many points because he played a high-rated player, or winning a lot of points because he played a high-rated player. I think John just had insane pairing luck. There's just no other explanation, because he was like 13 points ahead of people that like had 3+, 5+ wins. It was on him. It was so strange.
Rating inflation is real. I mean, that's my big takeaway from that. Obviously, you probably got some pretty good pairings too, but rating inflation, playing your games early is just such a huge throw.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we also have all the team, or not all the teams, but Liberty Note does a pretty good job of compiling the teams and players who did well. I don't know. I didn't look through this earlier. I didn't know if there's anything that really stands out. Obviously, the Hoj brothers, I presumably both used some sort of Tricker and Bear stuff, as they're known for using. I don't think Polar Bear used that, but I heard that Gary Chan did use that and was number 3 overall, and he's not listed here, right?
Yeah, in terms of championship points, Gary was around there and was likely just using Ursaluna regular form with his signature Zorark. He's been using Zorark Kasui lately, which is also super hype. Must just be a big Legends Arceus fan, because I think he also has Cresselia with Lunar Blessing from that game. Anyways.
The 5th place team is pretty interesting too. Like the sets, if you click on that button, it has like some kind of recovery berry on the Flutter AV Crown. And Belly Drum, Iron Hands.
Belly Drum Hands. Belly Drum Hands is a GC special. I played against it myself. I had a close one, ended up losing to it. Wait, is that what are these moves on the Roaring Moon? There's a normal, a rock, and a dark move. One of them is Protect. I do know Protect. I think that's Terra Blast. Must be Terra Ground.
Yeah, Terra Blast, Protect, Rock Slide, Knockoff.
Oh my god.
They're clicking Rock Slide. They said I'm going to click Belly Drum Rock Slide turn 1.
Yeah, sure enough.
The Flutter has Helping Hand too.
The hands also looks like it has Rock Slide. Yeah, it's the same exact move as the Roaring Moon. So basically, if you're ever in a jam, just you have the Rock Slide for you. Talking about Icicle Crash earlier, Rock Slide, the OG goat of RNG. That move was so it's just so swingy as well, which is so fun when you're using a Pokemon that's fast as Roaring Moon. This one's Life Orb, not booster speed, I guess, or a Pokemon as strong as Iron Hands with a Belly Drum. Is that Trick Room or a different move on Flutter? I believe that's Trick Room. Yeah,
it's Trick Room.
Mm-hmm.
I do know enough. It also, by the way, a quick a cheat code for you guys in the chat is if you're ever looking for a move that you might expect there to be multiple copies of on a team, just look at another Pokemon that you would absolutely expect to have Trick Room. Like Indeedee here just has Trick Room as well. And then the Roaring Moon and Iron Hands both had a rock move. Turns out that it's the same exact character, so Rock Slide. And then just look at enough of these to learn Protect. I was going to say, actually, Protect. There's only one Protect on the team. Iron Hands probably has Detect.
Yeah, it has Detect.
Yeah. But only actually one Protect on the team, funnily enough.
And the Whim has Endeavor.
Endeavor's kind of nice. Makes it really easy to pick them up with a Rock Slide afterwards.
True. This is the classic like global challenge team where you look at it and you're like, none of these sets make any sense. I would never have seen any of this coming. And then it's always like the first place team is always like the most boring shit imaginable, and this is always like second or third.
Yeah.
I
think it was Rajan who was. I think his complaints were valid, talking about how balanced roulette is like one of the most like annoying things that is currently ongoing in like best of one closed team sheet, where you've seen so many, Urshifu, Water, Raging Bolts, double fake out teams, and then you just get super caught off guard when it's randomly like Terra Water, Mystic Water instead of Terra Steel Choice Scarf, and it does way more damage than you're ready for it. Or like you think that it's a Assault Vest Raging Bolt based on the composition, and then you give it a free turn to Calm Mind. There's a lot of Pokemon that can run totally different sets, but otherwise are just like standard. And yeah, like you think your Flutter Mane's out of range of the Grassy Glide, but it's actually Terra Grass Miracle Seed, and you're just like bopped. There's a lot of that, which I think can be a nightmare in closed team sheet, but like it's also kind of beautiful and kind of insane and fun.
Let me tell you, every time the Raging Bolt is surprisingly Calm Mind, I pop off. I'm like,
oh, for sure.
That's not the scary set. But yeah, I mean, we see boring ass balance team that UB Slow did really well with. They finished 11th, it looks like. And this is a team that, or variants of this team, I think we've seen all over the place.
So UB Slow ended up finishing 11th in the GC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, UB Slow is just insane. Just on another level.
Yeah, he always uses like super standard stuff too. Nothing crazy.
That's the part that like is craziest to me, because whenever I like use those teams, like if I ever like do like a stream with it, I'll be like, man, I keep getting caught off guard by random stuff. But like he's just ready for everything. He's just like, I'm using the best team and I'm gonna beat you with it because I'm ready for literally anything.
I think the thing also is like he's played so many ladder games, he kind of like knows now what to expect all the time.
Yeah. Such an intelligent player. Yeah. So yeah, the full results are not like quite up. Like, there's going to be a lot of holes no matter what in this. I also included the top 30 from last season, but that's also pretty empty because it was like, again, coinciding right with the global challenge. So not a lot of people are going to want to share their results. And I don't even know how many teams in there that you can even click on or look at. But there was, I just wanted to mention it because, it's something fun to look at when there's more teams in there. We probably won't see any for this one, maybe for the next one, though, because I think the next one will be right after the third qualification. Though I guess then they have to worry about the next stage in Japan's qualification. So yeah, it's probably just going to remain empty for a while as people are, working towards Worlds.
Mm-hmm. But it is always cool to see all the different stuff that you can that did well in the global challenge, even though it doesn't look like we're going to get a lot of team reports. It's always fun to see all the wild stuff that did well when people do post it. So yeah. Anything else to talk about for the global challenge?
I'm trying to remember if there was any other teams in there that I wanted to give a mention to. I have this open twice in the GC.
I see a Regice there. That's cool.
Wait, where's there a Regice? Oh, that's all they're mentioning. It's right above John.
Yeah. 39.
Yeah. Regice. Annihilate is the king of best of one. You think it's the final Gambit set because it's always the final Gambit set in close team sheet until it's not. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just scrolling through, just checking. I know some people were talking about the Tinglu Dozo team in 71st. I think it did well on the ladder at the end of the season, though I didn't see it in that page. But Tinglu Dozo, Pow Knight, and then I believe the Golden Go is Choice Scarf, which is pretty fun. With the Gouging Fire. It was like Terra Flying, Terra Blast, Choice Scarf.
The Dragonite is AV as well.
AV, okay. Yeah, that's just solid. Oh, 75th. I think this team was posted on Twitter, so I guess if you maybe click their Twitter, I'll check if it's safe.
Yeah.
It just has the team. Perfect. Yeah, Comfy, Sableye, Moltres, Glastrier, Archer, Scope Lens, Arcaludon, and just an Ogerpon Water. This team is awesome.
This is, if you take out the Ogerpon Water and you make the Arcaludon a Duraludon, this is the team I would expect to see in a GC in Sword and Shield.
In Sword and Shield, literally. And Comfy is leftovers. Like, there's so many good items left on the table because we have Scope Lens, Wellspring Mask, and Light Clay, but leftovers was still the choice for Comfy. I cannot imagine that's the one, but maybe it needs to be. What do I know? I didn't get 75th in the Global Challenge.
The Arcaludon has Focus Energy, but like it seems pretty hard to pull that off as well.
Right? I don't know about that. What's the steal move? Is it just Flash Cannon Draco?
Yeah.
Flash Cannon Draco. Yeah, I mean, critting Dracos is fun. It just doesn't seem like what I would expect to be the payoff of choice when you're setting up like dual screens with your Sableye. But
yeah,
it was one of the choices that they chose. So you're allowed to.
It's 4 setup mons.
The Comfy is Calm Mind as well.
Oh, is it Swords Dance Ogre?
Yeah, Swords Dance Ogre, Calm Mind, Comfy, Nasty Plot, Moltres.
Oh, Comfy is also set up?
Yeah.
Wait, the only setup Glastrier is actually the only one that's not set up. Besides Sableye. You would expect that. I was expecting it to be Swords Dance. It could still set up with Chilling Neigh, by getting a KO, but wow.
Basically a setup mon.
That's so. Duraludon is the Dozo matchup? I guess it kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah, it beats all the Dozos.
Except the fairy one, which I think is actually pretty common.
Nah, you just crit Flash Cannon it and you kill it.
Oh, fair. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
It actually does beat all Dozo then.
You got screens up, you tear grass. Like, what are they going to do?
Actually, does it beat Terra Steel Dozo? There's always a Dozo. You have to understand. You cannot beat 100% of Dozo. You think you can, but you can't.
There's always a Dozo. You crit it with Ivy Cudgel. We're fine.
We're fine.
Yeah.
115th place. I don't know if they actually included the team or not. No, they cut off the items and stuff. But 115th has Rain, Wochen, Sylveon, Sneasler because, that's a team that people are playing. There's not even a terrain for the Sneasler. Like, I know a lot of Japanese players like to use Sneasler with Rock Slide on the Psy Spam teams, but this one's just hanging out.
Yeah,
it's probably Focus Sash.
It might be. It might be still for
Focus Sash too. Yeah. There's some. They've finally got a first snow. I think we're going to see a lot more of that in GC number 3. But yeah, it's I don't know, just a cool tournament, and always cool to see the results. And I don't know what to really take away from this for like regionals, but certainly for Global Challenge 3, if you still have to qualify for Japan Nationals, you'll need those last few championship points. Definitely keeping in mind what's doing well, keeping in mind what some of the more interesting trends are, like that sort of Trick Room, Flutter, Iron Hand, Belly Drum, Iron Hands type team, and all the other teams that did well. Just be aware of that if you're planning for Global Challenge 3 in 3 weeks after Vancouver, as we now know. Yeah, let's talk about the other big event that happened, which is of course the Utrecht special event, which I don't know if the discussion about how to pronounce Utrecht or Utrecht was on stream, but I hope it was very illuminating. Follow up to last time, but yeah, it was of course won by our very own Nikhil. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience, about your team, and yeah, about your run?
Yeah, so I started, I just wanted to have fun, basically, because Utrecht is close to where I live, 40-minute train ride, and I didn't really, want to take it that seriously. I just wanted to take team to have fun. And it's like I used to play Snow a lot in Reg D and Reg A, and I wanted to try that again this time. So I took Taro Kata's balance team and replaced two of the mons there for Articuno and Ninetales. I forgot which ones, but I kept the Rilla Shifu Instant and played around with that. That was pretty good, but it didn't really feel the best. Like I don't remember exactly why, but it didn't click that well. Then I remember Don Check. He cut some tournament in Portland or Charlotte, and he had a pretty cool team with Lando Ogerpon, Ninetales, Articuno, Magmar, King Gambit. But Magmar seemed a bit troll to me, so I wanted to use Arcanine instead.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, took that on ladder. It did really well for me, so I thought I might as well just use this and have fun, and it ended up pretty good.
You had a little too much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the team seemed really unprepared for. I think the main thing is a team like this wasn't allowed to exist in like Regulation E, especially because Tornadus with weather moves was very popular, and so that was a bit disruptive to teams relying on Ninetales and Snow and such. But now there's teams that are really heavily physically oriented. Articuno also has very sizable special bulk too. There's teams that aren't. Tornadus is like kind of at an all-time low because of how much pressure Raging Bolt has put on it. People are using Raging Bolt to kind of hold their teams together as this defensive glue, and ice damage just seems very strong. So I imagine that you clicked Blizzard a lot.
Yeah, it was my most clicked move. Raging Bolt also like completely fixed the Torn matchup too. Like it's just completely fixed the Goldango Orgrippon Torn matchup. And yeah, it was just insane in the tournament. And
Mm-hmm.
like since Europe is known as like the balanced place, like I thought coming to this tournament people would be spamming Jude's team with the Roaring Moon, Amoonguss, Instant. And I played that a lot on ladder and it did really well. But in my actual run, I don't think I played a single team of Jude's team at all.
Mm-hmm. But you played against the. Did you ever play against that like standard balance team? Looks like you maybe did as early as round 3.
Oh yeah,
The
the Shifu Power Bolt stuff, right?
yeah, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, the matchup against that is pretty good too. If they have Calm Mind though, it's a bit harder, but I don't think I played a single Calm Mind.
Gotcha.
Like most of the Italians were using Booster or Assault Boost instead.
Also, just to clear things up, because I think there was a bit of confusion, like for people just at home seeing that Amir had like the same team as you. That was actually not something that you guys had worked on together.
No, I built it. I took it to the MSS in Netherlands. I went 6-0 Swiss. He also used an Articuno team, but he had Bright Powder and some other like weird stuff on it. And he said like he liked my team, so I gave him some game plans, and yeah, it ended up doing good for him as well.
Nice. I mean, 2 Articunos in top 8 is just such a crazy success story for this team.
I think before this, the best result for Articuno was like 40th or something. That's some small reason though.
I also got to say, your run. I was trying to see, what are the actual like problems for this team? Like just trying to like poke holes just to see like going forward what might this team struggle with. And in terms of stuff that you played against, I think your run was actually so perfect. It's so impressive because every single person that you lost to, you ended up beating later. You took 3 losses in the whole tournament. Yeah, exactly. Lost to Ninetales in the funny Ninetales mirror round 6, beat it round 10, lost to Aurelian round 12, beat him in the finals, and then lost the Snow mirror of all things again. Apparently, if you want to counter Snow, run Snow. I don't get it. And then speed creep a little.
The mirror against Amir was really hard too because all his mons are faster than mine.
Yeah,
so I had to like get the leads right every single game. It's really tricky.
And you unfortunately couldn't do it in round 13 Swiss, but top 8, where it counts even more, you ended up doing it on stream as well. Yeah, that was. I just think that it's really sick because, like, everyone's talking about Aurelian's run, which also is nearly perfect. Went 16-1, and you could argue that Aurelian's run was perfect too. Like, yeah, he lost it in the end and got second, but he did beat you before. So every loss that he had, the one loss was a winnable matchup, at least in some sense. And so definitely an inspiring one, but yours as well. Just like beating every person that you lost to is just like so sick. Just proving that you were really on it, had the right call, had the right, you were playing well. That's just so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love to see Europeans getting beaten down by a team that does something a little different. I gotta say, love it, dude. Farm those balance teams. They like.
There's only so many players that
really tweeted out stuff that was like, "Oh, I used the boring balance team." As soon as I saw that it was posted, I was like, "Oh, this is so me." I'm like, "Do you know how many Europeans saw that exact team and was like, this is so me?" Like, gosh.
Yeah. Look at it, just like, yeah, like it looks like they're. I like the idea a lot because everyone is relying, like you said, on Raging Bolt as their special defensive answer. Their AV is on their Rillaboom or maybe, and they have a Water Pond on their team or something like that, right? Like it feels like a lot of the special attack and counterplay is very weak to Freeze Drive, very weak to Blizzard, and so I think it was just a fantastic meta call as well. And like you said, you kind of knew what the EU metagame looked like. I was looking at some of the other teams, and are you glad you dodged the Iron Boulder in 9th place?
The one I was most happy to dodge was PokeAlex and Eric Rios because I played a bunch of Volcaron on ladder before, and like I got beat down so hard every single time. Like Quiver Dance is just pretty impossible for the team.
Hey, looks like we got the raid from Marco Fierro.
Yo, Marco, thank you for the raid. I saw that your brother won the global challenge. Congratulations to him. In juniors, I believe, juniors or seniors. And yeah.
Wait, that wasn't Marco that got 1862 at the global challenge?
No, someone came in my Twitch chat and said Marco Fierro won the global challenge with an 1862 rating as I was finishing up my run. And I was like, I can believe that. He'd do that.
I mean, it's problematic because Marco has won a global challenge before. So you just kind of have to look at that and be like, dang, he's sick with it. Because like Marco is just sick with it. So but no, that was in fact not. That was just false information. Still so funny.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I really appreciated the tweet. But yeah, so for all y'all just tuning in, we are here with Nikhil, who of course just won the Utrecht special event. And we're talking about, we talked about the global challenge a little earlier. Now we're talking about the teams that did well at the special event. And yeah, so we're just talking about the team that Alex and Eric used. I think Eric also did really well in the global challenge with it as well. So see this team pop up a couple times, and this is maybe it's not that similar to the team that they used previously, but there definitely are some components that are similar.
So I was gonna go pull it up. The top 12 image does a much better job of explaining it than Cut Explorer, but between when they posted that day 2 usage picture, it was just so funny to see. Here, it'll be on this page. Let me link it here. Just the Victory Road page should have it, but notably, it was like around like 7 Pokemon in or 8 Pokemon in. There was just this massive drop off in usage from I think Qianpao to. Let me go ahead and look here. Day 2.
Yeah. It's Urshifu, Qianpao, Urshifu of 17 uses, and the next is Farigiraf with 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one that was funny is that Lulatiles. It says Lulatiles is not top 12 in day 2. That's
I think that's correct.
That's the Stalroth. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I was told that there were 5 Ninetales. It was top 12, but it was not. There were only 4 apparently. But yeah, so it is crazy. There was like a 5-way tie, a 4-way tie for 12th place with these Pokemon, but I don't know. I feel like that's the one Pokemon that you would really expect to be in this top 12 that disappeared is the Amoonguss. Amoonguss had I think 3 uses in day 2, and they're all top 32. I gotta ask, what happened, Alex? What happened to Amoongus?
What happened to Amoongus? I think it's largely that teams are really building around having Amoongus counterplay the Amoongus, or that the common team that we keep alluding to, the Raging Bolt, Landorus, Chien-Pao, Urshifu, is rounded out with Rillaboom and Incineroar, which the Incineroar often carrying the safety goggles, the Rillaboom a natural spore immune. They kind of look to lock Amoongus out of the game with pivoting, cycling these two Pokemon, and just faking out if they ever need to. The Landorus also happens to run Substitute. There's a lot of things, and if you fake out the Amoongus with your Urshifu on the field, you're not going to be able to stop the Urshifu from doing damage because of Unseen Fist. So I just kind of felt like it was lacking in countering what was, kind of seeing more and more usage, being more common. I still think Amoongus is fantastic. And so the best time to use Amoongus is when it's most counted out. But I think it was just being heavily respected is the main thing.
Yeah, I can believe that. Obviously the rise of snow doesn't help things either. It doesn't really like taking blizzards as much as most Pokemon do.
No.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm looking at a lot of these teams and I'm like, is Amoongus really that bad into these teams? But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like you look at Aurelian's team, right, where it's Taunt on Landorus as a sub, but then also has the double grass type as well to try to cover for that. That is 3 answers to Amoongus, and I feel like at this point in the meta, I always was looking at it as I want at least 3 answers to Amoongus on my team. At least, like, even if one of them is a Terra, I can work with 2 Pokemon that are immune to Spore or have Taunt or something like that, and then also have a Terra to work around it. And I think that everyone's kind of following those rules, or just kind of powering through with either a Chi-Yu team or a Snow team. And so yeah, I think that it's interesting that it's fallen off, but like you said, if you're even thinking about disrespecting Amoongus, maybe reconsider, because that it is going to pop back up in vengeance if people start doing that. You're going to face it if you do that, at the very least. But yeah, we should talk about Aurelian's team. I know it's not too out there, but it did go 16-0 up until finals, and so it was a very, very impressive run from Aurelian, one of the most dominant runs. We still have not seen a 17-0. We see a couple people get very close, but yeah. Any thoughts on this team? I guess Nikhil, because you faced it a couple times.
Yeah, I think it's really strong. I think the original team is from Suika, the Japanese player. It like pins everything in the format, I think, really well.
Yeah, I think Ogerpon Hearthflame is super awesome. I think that Pokemon is I don't know. I think that set is really cool too. I ran something similar back at Sacramento forever ago. Basically, I think that the support Ogerpon that doesn't use Grassy Glide, despite there being a Rillaboom, is solid. It's only supporting by having Follow Me on the moveset. It obviously can still do a lot of damage by going for a Terrifier, Ivy Cudgel, or a Wood Hammer. But basically, I just like that this doesn't marry Ogerpon and Rillaboom together to being brought to the same games. And that your Pokemon is still very usable otherwise, which means that it can click Follow Me for your Landorus, for your Urshifu. It can click Woodhammer and still, one-shot a Urshifu Water if it needs to, without, relying super hard on Rillaboom coming to the game. Not to mention Miracle Seed, Rillaboom also on the team can be a total menace. That thing, it does a lot of damage, and maybe sometimes we're playing open team sheet, but sometimes people's game plans against Rillaboom rely on it not having Protect by, whenever it's on the field and Fake Out isn't live, you can just double target it. But now this is a Pokemon that can protect if it's feeling threatened, and I really like that, allowing the team to reposition. These types of teams have been around for a minute, but they're a great balance of offense while also having tools to reposition, and I love that.
Mm-hmm. And Rillaboom especially benefits from that repositioning with Protect, right? If you really do want to try, there's a lot of situations in which you have your Grassy Glide exerts a lot of pressure, especially Miracle Seed Grassy Glide exerts a lot of pressure in your team. You pivoting into fake out, you're pivoting in redirection, something like that. And then all of a sudden, if your opponent has the ability to just protect and bring in a Raging Bolt, for example, which is a very this isn't really working to follow me, but it works into fake out. Pivot into Raging Bolt, just protect on the fake out, and now all of a sudden your Pokemon is back to being susceptible to Grassy Glide, and they pivoted a counter. I think I can see Rillaboom being a real force into certain teams. I'm always scared of running the grass spam mode nowadays because it feels like every team has a dragon type. Certainly in a metagame where you have Ninetales popping up everywhere, I feel like running dragon type Landorus double grass type is always a little spooky, even though one of those grass types is neutral to ice and can resist ice. But that is my one. It's always been my one concern. But man, Rillaboom, Ogerpon, especially with Miracle Seed, with Woodhammer, you are just exerting so much pressure into any team that cannot position a like Raging Bolt or a Roaring Moon into you perfectly.
Yeah, especially with Urshifu, it's like just too much offense. I think. Do you watch the set against Michael? Yeah, like
I have not watched this set, but
fire just went so crazy there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I watched that one back though, like really quick, so my memory's a bit hazy on it. But a lot of Aurelian's team was just so scary. I mean, it was a close set to be sure, but a lot of Aurelian's options just felt so dominant because he just was at a speed advantage for a lot of it. Pressuring out the Flutter Mane with Rillaboom meant that it couldn't be this speed booster fastest thing on the field for the whole game long. It eventually was going to get pressured to switch out. I love Aurelian's team because it's just different enough from all the other teams that are doing similar things, whether it's the Icy Wind Flutter teams. They're not usually using Hearthflame. They're not usually using Rillaboom as well. It just feels like a good mix of the main balance styles that we're seeing right now. And I think that let it stand out. I don't think we've even mentioned that Landorus has Taunt yet. Landorus using a move that isn't, very common at all. Like, I think Taunt is really cool for an anti, Trick Room option, anti Follow Me option, if that's something that's helpful for you. It's also anti Amoongus. There's a lot of cool things about Taunt Landorus that it can do that teams might not be ready for.
Mm-hmm. All right. And so I guess going through the rest of the top 8, I guess we could talk about the rest of the top 4 at least, because we got Michael and Ricardo, both of whom are using teams that is Ricardo's team the same team that Nick used to get second to Charlotte, or is it? I'm forgetting. I remember some of the components, but not all of them, like the clear amulet hands.
This is just the Hoj team, I believe, that has been around, and I think some minor things have changed. But yeah, the Hoj brothers, I don't believe, were at this tournament. They were too busy dominating the global challenge. Otherwise it is kind of just like exactly the same stuff. They, I think, usually run a very fast Blood Moon to enable it in Tailwind. But if you're ever, too bent on beating the Tailwind mode, it can go Trick Room. I've been talking to a lot of people about this team because I think it seems very strong and interesting. The main thing that I think it can really force is in any matchup, even if things are looking bad for it, it always can result to lead roulette where, are you respecting your Mons getting Blood Moon turn 1, or are you respecting your Mons getting Wicked Blow turn 1? Or are you going to be able to deal with a Terrifier Ivy Cudgel turn 1? There's a lot of different nukes on this team that, if you can't deal with them on the lead, the team might be able to just generate enough momentum that it can come back even in bad matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's really similar to my team as well with the lead roulette thing. I played him in top 4, and I had to always try to guess whether he went for Blood Moon Torn or Blood Moon Giraffe. But both times he went Trick Room Melta.
Yep. You ended up that was off stream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was wait, it was top 4, but they only ended up doing one top 4 game, right?
Yeah.
I
think someone had to catch the flight. So.
Oh, somebody had to go or something? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. But yeah, I remember you saying that you ended up dodging a Blood Moon. I do want to mention that because It's extra funny because you would think that's like Blood Moon's whole thing. Its ability, Mind's Eye, for people that don't know, has 2 effects. It lets you hit ghost types with your normal type or fighting type moves. So you're like, okay, yeah, it's just Scrappy. Like, I'm just gonna, I know what Scrappy is. But it also ignores accuracy effects and or like accuracy evasion modifiers, I think. And so if you go up against that Smeargle Muck team, you'll always be able to Blood Moon them through their +2 evasion or +4 evasion or whatever. However, it doesn't ignore Snowcloak or Sandvale, if that's relevant as well. So yeah, that's unfortunately going to miss. Yeah, we're also getting some mic static. I don't know who it's from, if it's from me or Audie or whatever, or Nikhil. I'm not sure. But
this is so troll because
oh god,
hello? Is it me? Is it me?
I think it's Audie, but also what the heck? It's like you're like in a auto-tune robot filter. What the?
Hello? Is this better?
I hope that's not what they're all saying. It's Audie. I hope they don't hear that, but they might.
All right. Is this any better?
Oh, so much. Yeah. What the heck?
Okay. I mean, I changed my microphone source, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's. So this is so troll because it says in the flavor text that Snowcloak raises evasion. But
it changes the move's accuracy and stuff.
It says it moves accuracy. So that is a mechanic that I can't fault anyone for not knowing, given the game is lying to us about how it actually is.
Right? Basically.
But yeah, that's really good to know. It seems very annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was Ricardo's team, and then Michael also used a I don't know. It's one of those teams where I look at it and I'm like, oh, these are all pretty common mons. But actually, Entei has not seen a lot of play recently. It does have some very interesting choices. We see the same Raging Bolt that Aurelian used that doesn't have Thunderbolt. Instead, it's opting for Electroweb as well, and a similar speed boosting Fluttermane. So a lot of things in common with how Aurelian built out their sort of offensive aggro options. How many Pokemon are similar? Not that many, but it feels very similar to me at least.
This is just fire type substituted onto this team that we've been seeing for a minute now. I think originally people were trying out like Rock Arcanine in that slot. People tried Chi-Yu, people tried Incineroar, people tried Entei, and I think it does seem just like any fire type can pretty much work in that slot. And you're probably just going to end up trading matchups. Entei is probably going to be more favorable into some things, but worse into others. And whatever you end up needing will, whatever trade-offs you find most fitting for your team is going to be what works best for you. But other than that, I've always liked this team. I think we saw somebody use it all the way back at Portland. Some variation of it, and yeah, it's just like a really cool version of just the same stuff that we talked about earlier with Aurelian's team. Just like Icy Wind Flutter supporting a lot of like offensive but defensive tools too.
It's really hard to go wrong with this.
What are you trying to say, Audie?
I was gonna make a joke, but I couldn't remember who actually used this team at Portland, who used a similar team at Portland. So
I'd have to go back and look in Cut Explorer, but I do believe somebody was using it back at Portland.
But yeah, it's cool to see Entei come back into rotation. We were told that Max Speed Jolly, or not Max Speed necessarily, but at least Jolly, Test Speed, and Urshifus, which is good because you get to really scare these dark Urshifus that are picked up in usage. They're all adamant, they're all sashed. Burning them. One not only threatens to work around Sash, although I don't think Sacred Fire is going to put them in KO range, but also neuters their damage significantly. So they're going to be really scared at that. This team looks like it has a lot of tools for that, for those dark Urshifu, which is always really strong.
I ended up finding it was Jose Vasquez.
Jose Vasquez. Okay, yeah. You're right. Yeah, these are the same 6 Pokemon. So, or no, this is Incineroar on this one. So
yeah. Basically, this archetype has existed since all the way back in Portland. There's been some, modifications, more people leaning on the Assault Vest Raging Bolt now, as that's the preferred set. But a lot of cool tools here that we've seen last basically the entirety of Regulation F. So,
and I just want to give a shout out to check out Michael's Twitch channel as well, because he's going to be talking about his experience and his team. And so he was not able to make it for Top Takes, but tomorrow you'll have a chance to hear him talk a lot more about what he's doing on his own Twitch channel. So go give him a follow as well.
Dude, I gotta say, probably one of the more interesting teams to make it deep in this tournament was the team from Salvatore Rega. Let's talk about it.
I thought you were going to say Amir. I
thought this was funnier.
It's crazy that it still works.
He can't keep getting away with it. I was making fun of this after just day one. I linked it to Chuppa. I was like, yo, Chuppa, I found our Vancouver team. And he's like, okay, hold on, you're cooking. Because, it's just, how is 222 still working, bro? It's like a year later, 222 is still kicking it. This is open team sheet everything. They're playing triple choice item. And they're still doing it.
Nikhil used this team. I remember you posting this team in the Team India chat in December of 2022.
Yeah, I have no idea how he still wins with this. I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know how he beats Calm Mind Racing Bolt with this. I mean, I guess the Flutter, but
dude, this is Doug Bowser's team, as me and Kudal like to say. This is Masuda's team. Nobody owns this team. It was built into the game by the people that designed it at Game Freak. It is just the ruinous Pokemon paired with stupid Dozo, man, and their best partners. I hate it. I hate Dozo. 222 is funny. I don't think I've ever had a serious L to 222. I actually ended up playing it. Where did I play 222? I played it at Sacramento, so actually a while back. But anyways, I don't have anything to say about it. I just think it's hilarious that 222 is still doing it.
I guess there's a pattern though. A lot of teams have lead roulette, like mine, the Ho-Edge team, and now this too.
Yeah, honestly, you keep saying it, and I'm not seeing it. I don't look at your team and think this is lead roulette, so I'm gonna have to wait to experience it from playing it. I think most people are just gonna be leading Ninetales Articuno and clicking the funny button for sure. The copycats, that is.
Yeah, I mean, because it's kind of easy to expect the stuff they'll lead stuff that's strong into Ninetales Articuno, so you can lead Lando Ogerpon. That was my matchup into Gozing Fire King Gambit stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I think just historically, ground and ice, shout outs to Mamoswine, has been a good offensive typing. It's just classically Landorus can't hit flying types or grass types. I mean, it can with Sludge Bomb, but grass types and flying types are the main things that ground doesn't do well into, and ice does well into all those. But, Terra Bug's still the secret. Terra Bug's still the cheat code. Can avoid being weak to anything important.
Shout out to Basta with his Terrabug Excalibur. That was really nice.
Yeah, true. Wait, where did that finish?
I think he went 8-2 draw. I think he had to. He was feeling sick.
He felt sick. Yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
His team, honestly, his team might be the coolest team in the entire tournament.
Yeah.
This is the Lucky Sylveon team? Dude, as soon as I saw a Lucky Sylveon, I was expecting to click into the paste and see round. I don't even know if a Lucky learns round. But I just remember from back in the day, round was the funny thing to do with Sylveon plus a very fast Pokemon. Is round even still in the game? I don't know.
I think it is.
I'm going to Showdown right now. Team Builder.
All right. I do want to mention, because we've seen a lot of this, as far as day two, Landorus was number 3 in usage. First time we've seen it that high. First time we've seen that high in usage, as far as I know. And so, yeah, it was everywhere. We obviously saw, the top 2 players use it. We just saw Bars' team, which has some very interesting choices, but also I think had the Landorus as well. Unless I missed it. Yeah, he did have the Landorus. And so yeah, really, this Pokemon popped off. Nikhil, what did you think about Landorus this tournament? You think it was just a meta call, or you think it's here to stay?
Yeah, I think it's like top 5 months in the format. Maybe top 5 is too, like, yeah, top 3 probably after Flutter Raising Bolt. It just hits like everything that's meta really well. Like Raising Bolt, Ogerpon, even Urshifu just gets one hit by basically.
It's a hard Pokemon to invalidate. There are so many good tools to support it in the metagame, whether it's just double fake out, like all these teams are using, redirection, like your team was using. It is a Pokemon that is always going to chew up any kind of defensive counterplay that teams are trying to do, whether it's, using the type chart to switch into things or very bulky teams. Landorus just does too much damage and has too strong coverage with just Earth Power Sludge Bomb. So, we're this Pokemon it makes me so mad. I hate Landorus, dude. This guy, it makes all the fun teams unusable. That's what Landorus. There's a lot of problem Pokemon, but Landorus is one of them for me. This guy just pisses me off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I hate facing it, but I really do think that it's
go ahead, Nikhil. What were you saying?
I was saying this is like the first time it's won a tournament in Scarlet Violet too. This form.
Yeah, Raghav got close, right? But unfortunately didn't close the deal. So I didn't actually realize this was Landorus' first big dub.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All it took was Articuno to carry it.
That's true. I mean, it was winning regardless, right? It was basically all of top 4 was Landorus.
Right.
It had better than even odds to win going into top 8 at the very least. So
yes, yeah.
But I think it benefits from some of the trends in the metagame because it's worst enemies. Dragonite, of course. Alex, you talked about how much you hated Landorus, and then all of a sudden you counter teamed it and you won a regional with and then I know everyone decided, yeah, we're okay with Landorus. And so you can see the one Dragonite that did well is on a Dozo team. And then Barigarath is the other guy that everyone picked up on because Pound Knight was so popular. Barigarath is really good into Landorus too. It takes an attack from it pretty consistently. It sets up Trick Room. And that one also, you can see only 7 in day 2. Of course, the one in top 4, but then a lot of the other players who used it underperformed in day 2, going A6, 9-5. So I'm not. I think that sort of trend in the metagame has really helped Landorus pick up in popularity. And I've been saying this for a while now. I feel like this metagame, very lead roulette, very matchup roulette, and you got to pick your battles. And so maybe people started to tone down their hate for Pound Knight, tone down their hate for Rigarath, and Landorus, I think, is the natural beneficiary of that as the metagame turns into more of a Raging Bolt popularity contest where it's the most popular Pokemon. Landorus is maybe the number 1 answer to Raging Bolt, or at least the easiest to slap on answer to Raging Bolt. So other than maybe Flutter Mane, but I think that also contributes to Landorus' success. Will it continue? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of ways that you can build your team to be more resilient to Landorus, but you really have to commit to beating Landorus.
Mm-hmm. It's all cyclical. And I do agree. Like maybe not so much like that. It's matchup roulette, but it is just like hard to cover for everything. And so I've said this a couple of times, but there's like 10 plus viable teams. You can pick 2 to be 70-30 in. You can pick 2 to be 30-70 in, and then the rest are going to fall around even and are going to be won by the player who's the most experienced with their team. Which, by the way, I think is a testament to your run, Tayo. You said that you played a lot, right? You practiced a lot.
Yeah, I think I had like 200 sets before the tournament on BO3 ladder.
Experience is king. That's all I've been saying. Yeah. I've been preaching it lately. The people that know their team the best in and out are going to be able to win even the hardest matchups, just because they are so familiar with the scenarios. What would you say was your hardest matchup? I'm actually curious, Adi, if you can pull up the schedule. Just like one match that you think was like the scariest, the hardest.
Oh, Ivar's team.
So you did end up beating it in the run back, but you lost to it the first time.
Yeah, he basically forwarded me both times in the first time I played him. Like the combination of Tailwind, Light Screen, Intimidate, Rock Slide, in that Arcaluda set is like super hard to take down.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I had to get turn 1 right every single game. The second time I played him, like leading Landorus, Ogre Pawn, having Articuno in the back.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has a lot of I think this team is definitely like super fringe with the stuff that it's doing. There's just like, not a lot of people are going to be ready for the double damage reduction Arcaludon, Snarl, and Breaking Swipe.
Yeah.
I look at that set and I'm like, this set looks so passive. It looks like it does nothing, but it can just find matchups where it's unbreakable, where it's just slowing you down enough that you can't really do anything. Whimsicott with Light Screen, I also think is a really cool tech because it's so strange to find that on a Ninetales team when that could just be setting up Aurora Veil. But regardless, I think even outside of a Ninetales team, I think Light Screen on Whimsicott is a really cool idea to basically give your team a special Intimidate. Like it is Prankster. It can get that up and then just you don't have to worry about special attackers. You have Intimidate for the physical ones. Technically, you also have Ninetales Snow or Arcaludon for physical attackers. Like the team just seems like it's able to slow down all types of damage while not looking like your typical defensive build.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because we were actually we were talking. Quick comment is I know I was building out screens for a while. I know Alex has experienced that. I'm not going to say enjoyed it, but he certainly watched me try to build out screens. And one of the things that was brought up was, maybe we just need light screen. Maybe we don't need reflect. A lot of the teams at the time that you really went to Pokemon at the time that you went to light screen were the Glimmora Chi stuff that, really only attacked on one axis. And then the Barigarath Ursaluna stuff, which only really attacked on one axis, in which case you really only need the one screen. And if they're setting up Trick Room or Tailwind, you really need it until the speed control ends. And then you can probably take over the game that way. So it does actually make a lot of sense to me that the Whimsicott is so light screen. I think that as a matchup check is actually very reasonable.
It was also really cool. The one stream set that featured it, I do believe Ivar won, and it was this Whimsicott was just so bulky. It like just was taking hits very well. It's a really cool Pokemon. I think it ended up going against a Gouging Fire team, and it just like took a heat crash like with plenty of HP left. It was just like, all right, I'm chilling.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty heavy Pokemon. You knew that.
You're right. Yeah, all that fluff. Yep. But yeah, are there any other teams that stand out? That team ended up making it to top 16. I don't think we talked about the actual 9th place team yet.
No, we got to look at the Iron Boulder.
Iron Boulder bubbled on resistance, or opponent's resistance, whatever you call it. Like this team was so close to making it into the cut, and we were just talking about screens. Okie dokie. This is just there's a lot of weird stuff here that I think is really cool, and the Iron Boulder definitely the weirdest.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know what? You know what's really convenient? Because I remember I have a problem where I browse Reddit. It's I'm working on it. I'm improving as a person, but I did see this thread on RVGC, like literally the day before the event. Is there any conceivable use for Iron Boulder? And then immediately it gets 9th place at the regional.
There's no way to use this Pokemon. I do kind of agree though. I was at a loss for just looking at it. I'm like, a move that hits through Protect with a rock type and it's 95 base power, that's like pretty solid. Like, why can't we just use this guy more? It's basically like a softer Shifu. And it still just wasn't, doing the job. I think it's because its bulk and speed are a bit lacking. It is not fast enough to outrun things like Xianpao and Fluttermane or, Scarfers like Urshifu. But it's also not bulky enough to withstand hits from those guys. And so it just finds itself in an awkward middle ground where maybe screens is the one thing that needed to be able to survive enough turns on the field and then just click Mighty Cleave every turn. Notably, you might look at this Pokemon and think that it is susceptible to Intimidate, but they have Okidogi on the team. The guard dog is going to be at least a little bit of a deterrent to switching in your Incineroar against it. Not to mention that your Incineroar might be coming in on a Choice Band Rock move. It might just go down anyways. So I really like the the innovation here with Iron Boulder?
I look at this team and I think that they originally had a Heat Suite Arcanine on the team and they replaced it last minute. It looks like that type of team.
This team has been around and it's run Arcanine and Entei on it, both doing a choice band.
But yeah, no, it's really cool to see it do well. Mighty Cleave is a scary move. And I know one of the things excuse me, one of the things I was thinking about was Iron Boulder, you said it underspeeds Fluttermane, and it does, but it's in a very interesting speed tier. It's in a very unique speed tier. I'm not sure what the best way. Let me pull it up. Iron Tread Smogon, that'll pull it up. And so as a result, Space 106, not really a thing. You want to outspeed 101, right? And then if you're not investing in speed, you might just ignore this guy. You might forget about this guy. And that's especially relevant because Fluttermane, for the first time in a long time, still the most used Pokemon overall. But if you look at just day 2, it's all the way down here at 6. And so what I thought was happening in this metagame was a lot of people were making their Fluttermane less bulky, more fast because Fluttermane was everywhere, number 1 in usage. You got to outspeed it, right? And so, that was Iron Treads, not Iron Boulder.
Yeah,
so
I was
curious,
Adi, if you were making a point about Treads as well.
No,
Boulder is 124.
I was going to say it. I didn't realize when I was looking at it because they name all the Pokemon the same thing. They name all the Pokemon Iron. Why do they do that?
I mean, honestly though, I can't even blame you for that one.
They look pretty similar too. I stand by that mistake. I haven't played too much Iron Treads, but my point being, it is in an interesting speed tier where Fluttermane now is low enough in usage that maybe you revert back to not running max speed. People were running max speed timid or something like that to outspeed all the other Fluttermane, but if there's only 20 of them and all the fast ones are speed booster, I think a lot of the slower ones are going to go back to being slower, not worrying about other Fluttermane, and then all of a sudden, Iron Boulder might get to actually speed creep some of these Fluttermanes. That's obviously very speculative. It's very hard to play into game 1 especially, but I do think that is the situation where I can really see myself using Iron Boulder is if I expect to outspeed a lot of the choice specs Fluttermanes and non-speed booster Fluttermanes I see.
Dude, I think if you could create a graph from the beginning of Regulation B or whatever, looking at Fluttermane's speed stat and just see this like curve, just like dipping all the way down and up and down, like it would probably be the most insane thing.
I can do that.
Yeah,
I can literally do that. Yeah.
Then do it. Then do it right now. Do it right now.
Right now. Okay. It would take me a couple hours to do. If you want me to stream it, I can stream it, but it's not going to be the most entertaining thing. But yeah, remind me. That is actually a really cool idea, and so I'm actually going to write that down.
Yeah, it's just going to be so interesting to see because, like, I know that people were just running like 0 speed Fluttermane at some point in Regulation C. Like they just like stopped caring entirely. And then you see like it go back up to account for like, yeah, the Flutter Mirror is actually really important. I don't know. And then people stop caring. And there's a lot of other influences than just Flutter v Flutter, but it is a Pokemon that has seen so much usage. So much, variation in its speed status kind of to be expected. Anyways, in terms of other teams to talk about though, what are some ones that you guys want to give shout outs before we move on to the Calc is right? Anything that I think there's a lot of teams that made day 2 here that are worth talking about, but
I liked Alex Della Pasca. I played him in Swiss day 2 as well. It was a nice team.
Hell yeah. How was the matchup? Was it close?
Yeah, I think in game 3 I froze his Dusclops to make it easier.
Nice. I mean, that is the fun part about clicking Blizzard every turn is that you do always have that out. But yeah, I looked at this team immediately and I was like, I'm kind of confused why the Dusclops isn't a Cresselia. I do want to ask Alex, like I might even consider reaching out and be like, this team's cool. I want to try it out, but yeah, what is the Dusclops doing? What's the dog doing? I don't know it. What it's actually trying to accomplish that's better than Cresselia, because Cresselia and Ursaluna are just kind of like best friends. You get to click Earthquake next to it, but this one opted to click Headlong and Shadow Claw, which I think is pretty fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think that forget exactly what it was, but I saw your schedule, Nikhil, and you faced 5 Rillabooms in 5 rounds in the first. So I thought that it's way back up in usage, it's all the way top 5. So running Earthquake is probably a little harder to pull off right now. So I'm not too surprised that the highest, I think it's the highest placing bear, used did not use Earthquake, because it just seems like it's going to be a rough button to click into a field that looks like this.
Yeah.
Totally. I think that the best way to do it is to build a team that would hate to bring Rillaboom. And this team, honestly, it does a pretty decent job. Archaludon is pretty positive into Rillaboom. Pelipper also solid into Rillaboom. By the way, I know what Adi's laughing about now.
I just saw it.
It takes you a second to realize that, yes, the Amoonguss does have Bullet Seed, and no, I would not recommend it. I think Alex was cooking a little bit too much with that one. You can run Sludge Bomb on your Amoonguss if you don't want to run Protect.
No, it's for Archaludon.
I know. I'm saying I don't think it's worth it. The payoff is not to be good enough.
During my GC run, I kept leading Archaludon Urshifu, saying, I'm going to try Surging Strikes this game, and never did it. Literally, I did it once the entire 38 games or whatever I played. I probably led that half my games trying to do it. It never comes up. He never gets to do it.
It's too greedy.
There are too many other moves you want to click with the Amoonguss is the problem.
Right.
Right.
And unfortunately, unlike Surging Strikes on Urshifu Water, I don't think Amoonguss is going to find other situations where it wants to click Bullet Seed into the opponent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got my calc.
No. We can't do Bullet Seed again, dude. Bullet Seed breaks the damage count.
Nerd of Now, I hope you fixed your Bullet Seed calcs, because we're going back to it.
No, last time we did it against like Stamina Mudsdale or something, but now this is
that one did break it.
Oh no.
I think
Anyways,
that was.
Adi, are there any teams in day 2 that you want to give a mention to before we move on?
You know, I want to. We already shouted out Ivar, who is my personal goat. Always runs the coolest teams. Of course, did a team report with the Dunsparce team, the
Squawkabilly, right?
Team, with Squawkabilly, yeah. So that team was super cool. I want a local with that team too. And then the other shout out I wanted to give was to where'd they go? The 2 Akram out in top 32, who's I built my San Antonio team with him. He's a super cool dude. He's using the same team as Boz, it looks like. And so super cool team to go 10-4, beat Eric Rios in day 1. I think it had first time making day 2, maybe second time making day 2, but I know they've lost the win in a lot, so I'm really happy that they made it.
It's funny that we've already mentioned pretty much all the Ninetale teams, but I'll mention the last one to sneak into the top 16, a team that looks very out of place, from Raphael. It's got Annihilate. Annihilate is a Pokemon that has pretty much fallen off the map. And it's just a bulk up one with Citrus Berry instead of, the usual leftovers that we're used to seeing, maybe because leftovers was taken by the Gudra. And yeah, they're looking to set up screens and play a bit more of the style that we've seen from screens in the past, creating some like setup threats that are unkillable. Gudra, as well as Annihilate being the main targets here. Funny to think that the Qianpao is the only beneficiary of snow. Technically, its defense will be buffed, and it means it'll take a Surging Strikes from Urshifu a bit better. Notably, for people that don't know the mechanic, Urshifu's crits do not go through the defense boost from snow. That is not something that it ignores.
And that's why you should be Terra Ice Gudra instead of Terra Water.
So true. Or you can just run the one that's anti-crit, the Shell Armor. Maybe Sap Support was too important to deny Amoonguss any value, or you wanted to Terra Water and be immune to Rillaboom still.
I mean the real answer is that sadly Body Press is not boosted by snow when all these other things are. But yeah,
true. That's also very real. And then we just kind of CB Rock Dog at the end. But yeah, honestly, I'm gonna have to look at the teams that this team ended up beating, because it just looks very out of place, I guess, as I would say. Like, I'm just like curious what it was doing well, what matchups it's farming. Ahead of 10-4 finish, so a good number of wins, a couple of losses. Definitely a cool team that's a bit different than what we're already seeing. With that though, let's go ahead and move on to the last segment. The Calc is right.
I got. Sorry,
I got
one more thing.
team?
There's I gotta say, I love it when there are 4 3s who get championship points. I always got to shout them out. There were this many players who got championship points with 4 wins, top 56 points, including 1, 2, I think 3 4 3s who got points. So yeah, shout out to those people for dropping and still getting championship points as soon as they couldn't make day 2. Really, the optimal regional experience, if you ask me.
Honestly,
that's my
right. Yeah. It is actually.
That's
really
my pick.
All
right, we could do the calculus right now.
Dude, wait. So people are getting championship points for going 4 or 5, like negative, and getting 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people have beef with the 5-4s getting CP. 4-5s is crazy. I don't have any beef with it though. I mean, if you're paying $70 for an entry fee, like people. Actually, this is free entry fee. Never mind.
It's free.
It's literally free championship points.
Free championship points, man. That's actually so funny. Okay, the calc is right. So, Adi, I know that you said you had one. Why don't you go ahead and start us off? I hope we can follow along. I hope you're not too.
I'm not going to do too convoluted, but so I will say I have run Seed Bomb Amoongus before, not Bullet Seed Amoongus, Seed Bomb Amoongus. With Terra, I think it was Terra Ghost, not Terra Ghost. Max Phantasm Spectrier was the combo. So I do think that physical grasp of Amoongus is maybe a little legitimate, but we gotta find out the calc to find out if it actually is. So let's go with we have an Urshifu Water on field. And we are going to Bullet Seed with 0 attack investment. We're minus speed nature because, of course, you're minus speed nature if you're a Bullet Seed Pollen Puff. So 0 attack investment, Bullet Seed, 3 hits into Urshifu Water, which is, let's say, 4 HP, 4 defense, and there's a Chen Pao on field. So it gets
and there's a Chen Pao on the field? Can we get grassy?
And there's a Chen Pao on field. No, there's no grassy terrain. You get the Chen Pao, though.
All right, Chen Pao's there, and we're Bullet Seeding this Urshifu. Okay. I got my number. So, Nikhil, basically the way that works is when you are ready, you say what number that you you just say you're ready, and then Adi will call on us to say our numbers, and then we'll find out if we're right or not.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready as well.
And you want to be within the range. So any place within the range, basically. Alex, what is your number? We'll start with you.
75? I don't know. I'm feeling like Amoongus is going to impress me.
That's it. Impress you? I have 40.
40. Okay, we are on opposite ends of the spectrum a little bit. Let's find out.
You are on opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah. It's 3 hits. And I hate to break it to you, but neither of you guys are right.
Right in the middle.
54 to 71. Sadly, you are usually going to get the 2-shot on Urshifu if Beads of Rune is up. If Beads of not Beads of Rune, Sword of Rune. Sword of Rune is up, then you're usually not going to get it. I think that's how it works out. I'm not actually sure what the math works out to, but it's a little underwhelming in terms of damage output into Urshifu, which is maybe the main thing you want to hit with it. So yeah, don't use Seed Bomb. All right, who is up next?
I'll go ahead and go. We saw the team from Ivar using a Life Orb Alolan Ninetales. Now I'm just kind of curious myself. It has Terra Ice as well. So let's say this thing is Life Orb, Timid Nature, Max Special Attack, going for a Terra Ice Freeze Dry into Terra Water Ogerpon. We'll make the Ogerpon 252 HP and 12 Spadaf. I don't know. That's just like a normal number, I think. So the Water Ogerpon has gone for the Terra. It's just a Water type now, and it's +1 Spadaf. How much is it taking from this Terra Ice Life Orb Freeze Dry from a Life or Ninetales?
From Max Special Attack Timid?
Max Special Attack Timid.
Okay. I got a number. I know. T already said.
Same. Yeah.
Wait, Tyler, you say you're ready? Tio?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll start with you this time. Tio, what's your number?
I'll go with 75 then.
75. All right. Adi?
Wow. Stole my number. You said 80, and I was like, 75 is going to be so good. Fine, I'll go with 76. I'll go a little over.
All right, Adi, you're the one on the screen, so you're gonna have to plug it in.
Yep.
I actually haven't ran it myself. I'm curious.
It says 252.12, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
252.12 on the Ogre Pawn.
And Timid, 252 Special Attack, Terra, Ice, Life Orb.
Life Orb, yep.
Terrastalize, and then Freeze Dry. None of the moves that are the Calc. It is doing 58 to 69% is what I'm getting.
Wow, what?
So,
this is nothing.
I mean, we thought 75, right? So it's still a 2-shot, right?
Yeah,
very
still
least.
a 2-shot. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Okay, so you still KO if you don't Terra Ice. If you do Terra Ice, I would really like to get the 2-shot if I didn't have to Terra Ice. I feel like that would be pretty ideal.
Yeah, but if you undo it, 43. Oh God, man.
Now the good thing is if they're a little less bulky for whatever reason, you usually get the 2-shot, and you can always Terra on the second one if you need to. But man, I would really like to get that 2-shot consistently.
Not to mention, you can always just freeze them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
If they're bulky, they're getting frozen. All right.
They also could just outspeed you, but.
All right, time for the last one. You got a Calc ready?
Yeah, I'll go with Choice Specs, Terra Ice, Articuno, Blizzard, into Qian Pao.
Qian Pao. You know, I've already experienced this one firsthand. Let's see how well I know my stuff. So I have my number. I'm ready.
So you said it's max special attack, Articuno, Choice Specs, Blizzard, no Terra?
With Terra.
Okay. With Terra. So Terra Ice. Okay.
Yeah.
But no helping hint or anything like that.
No helping him.
And you said Terra Water, Qian Pao?
No, it's the same.
Terra Ice, Qian Pao?
Terra Steel, Qian Pao?
All right. I also have a number.
I'm ready.
Oh, wait. Should I do the calc then on my computer?
No.
So
Adi will plug in the calc, but you just pick one of us to start with our guess.
Okay, then I'll start with Adi.
I think it's doing 82%.
That's pretty close to what I experienced in my ladder game. But I don't know if I faced max special attack or not. I'm gonna say 86. That's the actual number that I ended up taking. So I'm curious.
Max special attack, choice specs.
But my Qian Pao, it runs a bit of SPDF. I run at least like 31 IVs. So
Blizzard is this is not 252. This is 141. 252. Blizzard is doing 54 to 66. Am I reading that right?
Have you Terra'd?
I have Terra'd.
What? I swear I did more than this. It might have been, maybe I got helping handed. That's probably it.
Yeah, non-Terra does like 40%.
All right, so Qian Pao hangs on there.
Okay, so but if you have helping hand, it was still mostly kill. That's a little unfortunate, but I guess it puts it at a sash anyways. As long as you're 2-shotting.
But notably, Qian Pao can't get frozen, so it's still happy to take that Blizzard.
It's true. Honestly, Qian Pao will take any attack that doesn't no-KO it, right? It'll take anything but a Surging Strikes. It'll take a Dazzling Gleam just fine if it hasn't broken its sash yet.
I was going to say, it could take 2 or 3 Dazzling Gleams, I guess, from Indeedee. That's like the one time that a Pokemon doesn't actually do over half to that Pokemon.
Is that what you run SPDF on your Qian Pao for?
I said I run at least 31 IVs.
Well, yeah, you don't get 3-shot if you have 28 IVs. So it makes sense. But do you max out on? Do you PP max all your Pokemon moves? That's the real question.
That's for cheaters.
So that's gonna. I think that's gonna wrap it up from us. Thank you all for tuning in, especially through all of our technical difficulties early on. Really appreciate it. And as per usual, if you missed any part of the stream, this one I'll have to do some splicing, but it'll be on my YouTube channel tomorrow. So you can go and check that out. And yeah, Nikhil, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about your team, about your experience at Utrecht. And yeah, anything you want to shout out? Any final words? Anything like that?
Thank you for having me. Sorry I wasn't that talkative.
I think you talked plenty. Don't worry about it.
Thank you for staying up late for us too. And congratulations once again.
Thank you.